Joshua. Today we're going to start off with doing some syllabication or decoding, where you're going to underline the different morphemes, prefixes, suffixes, bases, read them, then we'll talk about the meaning. Okay? So here are your highlighters. First word. Let's work through your word.
Transport.
Okay, well, I want you to highlight it first, remember? Underline it. So what's the first part that you see in that word?
Trans.
Okay. That's a prefix, right? So
Well, yeah.
so what should you underline it? That's sky blue
Oh,
suffix.
Yeah.
Pink for prefix. So trans. What does trans mean?
Uh-oh.
We just reviewed.
I know.
It's okay.
Across.
Okay. And so then we have one morpheme left. What's our one morpheme?
Port.
Okay. So it's a base. Is it Latin or Greek?
I think Latin, right?
Well, that's green for
Oh.
Greek. Lavender, Latin. What's more important to me is, do you remember what port means?
To carry.
Okay. So transport would mean
To carry across.
to carry across. Okay. I'm going to transport the ship across the ocean. Okay. Deliver it. Send it across the ocean.
Transport the ocean.
Not the ocean, the boat.
So transport the boat on the ocean.
Mhm.
Not transport across the ocean.
Okay. Well, that's what it
across.
literally means, though.
Yeah, but
All right.
that's not how you would say.
That's okay. Well, you had a great sentence too. I liked your sentence. All right. Work your way through this word. What do you What do you see?
Viz.
Viz, which is
My brain wants to say Latin.
right. It's a Latin base.
And then we got
Hold on. What is ION?
it is a suffix.
Right. So what color do we use for suffix?
We're only doing the base.
Well, we did the base, and you would need to underline the suffix, but the suffix is sky blue, right?
Yeah, but isn't ION Greek?
No.
Oh, Latin?
Well, it's just a suffix. It can be added to the end of both Latin and Greek.
Whatever.
Okay, so then let's talk about. Okay, read the whole word together, and let's talk about what it means.
Vision.
Okay. So, do you remember what ION, that suffix, means? It's a new one for us this week.
Okay, let me think. I think I got this one. Process of?
Active, process of. And do you remember what VIS, viz?
To see.
Okay, so vision would mean
To see. The process of seeing.
the process of seeing, the act of seeing.
The reason why I know what viz means is invisibility. So, like, you can not be seen.
Mhm.
Would be what that word.
Right. Okay, now let's look at our next word. Let's work our way left to right. What do you see first?
Telly.
Okay. That's a base, right? Do you remember? Okay, it's not Latin. It's okay. It's not Latin.
Oh wait, this one's Latin?
Mm-hmm. Lavender in Latin.
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, so it's, what color are you using for telly? Or tella?
Green.
For Greek, right? Okay. Tella, tellies. What's that mean?
Far away or distant?
Right. Good. Okay, what do you see next? Viz, and it's what?
Latin.
Latin, okay.
Oh, wait, this one's for Latin, right?
Yes, lavender for Latin, you got it.
I'm gonna call it purple.
So vis means,
Let me see. To see.
okay, and ION is your next morpheme, your next word part. You're right, it's a suffix. Okay, so we're gonna work from right to
How is
left
blue?
to define.
Suffix.
Sky blue. Sky,
Alright.
suffix. Okay, so we work from right to left. What does ION mean?
Process of.
Process of, act of.
To see.
Okay. Act or process of seeing,
Far away.
seeing from far away. So with television, we can watch,
TV, which
Yeah.
is television.
right, or it's short for television. Like the news, like, and things like that. We can see live broadcasts of things that are happening far away from us, and we're
I
not right
prefer
there.
Netflix.
All right, let's look at our next word. Let's work left to right. What do you see first? You're fine.
Transmit.
The-
Herbal trans.
Okay, trans, and so that is a.
Prefix.
So pink for prefix.
This one actually makes sense. I don't know what the other ones.
Lavender and
No,
Latin,
no,
green and Greek. It works.
This one works and this one works, but
Okay.
these two.
Okay. Underline. Okay, and trans means
To
maybe think back to transport.
beyond. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, let me think. Don't tell me.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay. Give you a minute to think about it. Okay. Across or beyond. Across or beyond. Okay, what
Wait, didn't I
morphemes?
say that? Oh, no, I said distant.
Across or beyond, and then you still have one more morpheme. Okay. So how do you need to underline that? It's not a prefix, it's not a suffix, it's a base word. So what kind of base? It's Latin, so lavender. Mit and miss, which is a variation of this Latin base we just started learning this week. What does it mean? Mit or miss. Our key word was transmission. So we could learn a new prefix, suffix, and base.
To send. Mit or miss.
Okay, so read the whole word together, please.
Transmission.
Not this one. This one you just
Transmit.
transmit. Okay, keep your hands away from your mouth so we can understand you. Okay, so transmit means, mit means,
Mit means to send.
and trans means,
Across or beyond. So to send across or beyond.
so if you're transmitting a message, somebody's transmitting, a video or a television broadcast or radio broadcast, they're sending it right across the airwaves. Okay? Now let's take a look at this one. Work from left to right. What do you see first?
Transmit.
You're right. Is it prefix? So pink. Okay, what's trans mean?
Beyond or across.
Good. What's the next word part or morpheme that you see?
Mit.
Okay. Mit is a variation of miss, and vice versa. So it is Latin, and we said it meant,
To send.
right? And then we have one more morpheme left. What do we have left? Yun usually is how we pronounce it. It usually comes after like an S or a T.
Looks like the name.
Close. So what does suffix ION mean?
In process of.
Act of. Process of. So act of. Come on, you can do this.
Act of sending across or beyond.
Okay. 2 more words. Next word. Work your way through the word. What do you see? Trans. And it means?
Across or beyond.
Good. Then we have another base word that we've learned before. Form. Do you remember if it's Latin or Greek?
I want to say Latin.
It is. So trans means across or beyond, and what does this, read it to me?
Form.
What's
to
it?
shape.
To shape. So the whole word together is?
Transform.
Okay, which means?
To shape.
Mm-hmm.
Across or beyond.
Mm-hmm. So if something transforms, it changes shape, right? Beyond what it currently is. If I'm going to transform this house and do a makeover of the house, I'm going to change the way that it looks. Okay? Change the shape of it or form of it. Okay, last one. Working left to right. What's your first morpheme?
Trans.
Okay, go ahead and
That
list
seems
it.
like a reoccurring thing.
Well, yes, because that was one of our new morphemes we learned this week. You'll also notice that you see ION quite a bit, and mit and miss quite a bit too. What's next? What's that?
Form.
Okay, so trans
Latin.
means, that's right. Trans means, so we talk about it.
Across or beyond.
Form means,
To shape.
and then we have one more word part or morpheme. What is it?
ING.
Ing, and what does that mean?
It means process of, right?
Act of, process of. So going from the side right to left.
Process of shaping across or beyond.
Right. I'm transforming the house into a beautiful, modernized home. Will you read through all of these words for me?
Transport, vision, television, transmit, transmission, transform, transforming.
Good. One more time, and this time I want you to go backwards this way, starting at the bottom.
Transforming, transform, transmission, transmit, television, vision, transport.
Good. All right, so now we're going to work a little bit on comprehension. So we have talked a lot about fiction, and our last session we started talking about nonfiction a little bit. We applied the Fab 4 of our reading strategies to a nonfiction text. So in nonfiction, there are different types of nonfiction structures or outlines, or how the text is formatted. And if we can know about those different text structures, it can help us better understand and find the main ideas or the main points of a text. Because usually the purpose of a nonfiction text is to inform us about something. Okay, sometimes it's to persuade, but sometimes it's to inform us, to give us information, right? So we need to know what's important to remember. And one way we can do that is focusing on the structure of the text. So nonfiction texts can take on many different structures. So one of those is called compare and contrast. So in the text, the author compares to at least two things, right? Two topics, two items. In this case, it's going to be animals. Okay.
Penguin.
Okay, we'll read on it in our story and see. It's going to compare items. Okay. Comparing tells how they're the same, so similarities. And contrasting means telling how they're different. So the author helps us understand what's important about two topics, two items, two animals, to anything. Helps us understand that by telling us how they're the same and how they're different.
I'll be sad if the story's not about penguins.
Sorry. Read your title. What do you think it's going to be about?
Penguin.
Read your title. Sharks. Okay. So we're going to use this graphic organizer.
In the lessons where you had a sheet of paper and we were reading a book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
You were said to have theories. So
predictions.
Yeah, I have a theory that this is going to be about penguin.
Well, that is not based on any text evidence, though, because we're looking at a text that has sharks as our title, and there are pictures of sharks at the top.
Hypothesis, then, would you rather that?
Okay, so we're going to read this text, and we're going to be thinking about what they're comparing, what they're telling us the similarities and differences of, and we're going to use this little graphic organizer to help us find how they're similar and how they're different, to help us find the main ideas about this text. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and start reading this to me. We need to read to find out what we're comparing and contrasting, because right now our title just says sharks.
Did you know there are over 350 types of sharks? Two of the most common are the great white shark and the hammerhead shark.
Pause there for just a moment. What two things do you think we are comparing and contrasting in this text using our opening sentence here?
Great white sharks and hammerhead sharks.
Okay, so I'm going to write that at the top. You're going to help me find the similarity and differences. You can help write on this too, but
they're both sharks.
They are both sharks. Okay, give me a moment too, because I need to write great white and hammerhead. You all right?
Someone's in my eye.
Okay, so we already know that they're both sharks. They belong in that family. Okay, so keep reading. We'll see how they're the same and how they're different.
These sharks and all sharks belong to a group of fish that do not have bones. Instead, their bodies are supported by cartilage. What does that mean?
So cartilage is it's not bone, but it is a substance that's in your body that helps it hold shape. So like your ears are made of cartilage, your nose in the middle there. Okay, there is a nasal cavity here, but this part of your nose has what we call cartilage. It's a structure in your body that helps it hold shape and form. But it is bendable and movable. It's not like bone. It's not hard and fixed like bone.
What is this?
That is cartilage.
No, like this little weird.
I don't know. I would have to research that one. But let's stay on topic here about our sharks here.
Ow.
So they're both sharks, which means they have some common similarities here. What about sharks makes them sharks?
They're fish.
Okay, they're fish.
They don't have bones.
Okay, no bones. What do they have? Cartilage. Okay, so I like how you realized that you didn't understand. You clarified and asked for help in understanding what the word cartilage meant. So that's a Fab 4 strategy that you were using there. Okay? So instead, their bodies are supported by cartilage, which is softer and more flexible than bone. So you have a little bit of a context clue here, don't you? To help you understand what cartilage is. Okay, keep going for me.
Their skin is very rough. It is so rough, in fact, that it has been
Right here.
used as sandpaper. Sharks have the same sense that we have. However, their senses,
Do you see the S on the end?
senses of
Mhm.
sight, smell, and hearing are much stronger than ours. While both the great white shark and the hammerhead are sharks,
Mm-hmm.
they have many differences.
Okay, pause there for just a second. That was the end of our paragraph. So they just told us a lot about how they're all the same. What do you think is coming next in our text?
The differences between the two.
So we're going to contrast next. Okay, another way that they're similar, I'm noticing, is that they have very strong senses. They have a stronger sense of sight, smell, and hearing than humans. Should we add that to our list?
Sure.
Do you need to stand up and stretch? You're seeming very tired now all of a sudden. You could stand up and take a minute. Strong sense of sight, smell, and what else? Sight, hearing. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what some of our differences are.
Where am I?
We're right here on the second paragraph.
The great white shark is at the top of the food chain. Once it becomes an adult, often preying on the sea mammals, such as sea lions. As an adult, great white sharks.
As an adult, great white sharks can weigh.
Oh, I see. Great white sharks can weigh in at more than 4,500 pounds. But sharks don't start off at the top of the food chain. Baby sharks or pups must avoid other predators for the first years of life, including other great white sharks. Some pups don't live past a year because of predators. The hammerhead shark is much different than the great white shark. For starters, its head is shaped like a rectangle. That's a difference.
Okay. So, hammerhead sharks, their head is shaped like a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it said?
No, not a triangle.
What is it? Rectangle.
No.
Well, you have to help me.
You have to listen.
Head shaped like a rectangle. So what shape is the great white shark? Does it have a rounded?
Like that. Look.
I see what you're doing, buddy. So can you use words to describe that? Pointed?
Circle to triangle.
Okay.
It kind of makes sense.
It's like a pointed. I don't know if it's really a triangle. So circle to pointed shape.
I guess so.
Head.
Streamline.
Oh, I like that. I mean, it does describe that better. They're much more streamlined. I wonder if that makes them be able to swim faster than a hammerhead. Because hammerheads are kind of not streamlined. Okay.
Triangle. They're triangle.
Okay. The shape of their head
allows them to trap their favorite meal, stingrays. Their eyes are located on the sides of their head. Oh, like deer. Which allow them to easily scan the ocean quicker than other species of sharks can. Even though stingrays are their favorite meal, they also eat bony fish, bony fish, crab, lobsters, and other sea creatures. These sharks only weigh in about 500 pounds. Weight.
Yeah, so let's be more specific. So hammerheads are around 500 pounds. Let's look back in our text. Around how
I
big?
think it was 4,500.
Do you see it in the text? Can you point it out to me? Okay, show me in the text. We always gotta go back to text evidence. 500 pounds. 4,500 pounds.
You're wrong about two.
Okay, nobody's perfect, right?
I'm writing it down on the side.
Okay.
You get 3 strikes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, they only weigh in at about 500 pounds.
These pups, just like the great white sharks, pups have to worry about predators when they are first born. Once they are adults, they do not have many predators though.
So I found what's another way that great white and hammerheads are alike. What about their pups?
Well, they're endangered when they're born, and most of them
Their pups are small, right?
Yeah.
And endanger predators. Okay, keep going.
Many people are afraid of all types of sharks because of the attacks. While great white sharks have attacked people. Let me stop there. Mosquitoes have killed more humans than sharks. Did you know that?
I did not know that fact. Fun.
The hammerhead is not known for its attacks on people because they live further out.
Okay. So is that a way that they're different?
Well, I'm not sure if that is fact or
which one about them living far away?
Yeah,
okay.
Further out, I believe.
Well, we could always research that. But what's our text? They're contrasting there. They're using the word while great sharks have attacked people, comma. The hammerhead is not known for its attacks on people. How are they different?
One is known for attacking, one is not.
So the great white is known for attacking people. The hammerhead doesn't usually attack people. That's good to know.
I hate the sound of a pencil.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The hammerhead shark is dangerous, just like a great white shark, but not as aggressive.
I don't know about you, but I sure don't want to ever have a close encounter with a shark. Well, I've seen a shark before, but it's been in a glass cage.
Right, in an aquarium. We've touched stingrays as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know that hammerheads ate stingrays. That was pretty interesting.
I gotta pet them.
So
Pet a stingray.
That was pretty cool. So let's think about how we came up with some.
Why are they called stingrays?
That is a great question that we can further research. I know you like to learn about different animals.
They're like zapping.
Well, their tail can deliver a sting from what I've read. Let's focus here on wrapping up what we learned about great white sharks and hammerhead sharks. So what did the author, Gina Sesakowski, want to I know, that's a great last name.
That's a very long name.
Okay. what did she want us to know in reading this text?
The difference between sharks,
Which ones specifically?
hammerhead and great white.
And we found out some ways that they're similar.
A lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. They're both sharks, so that means that they don't have,
Bones.
they have cartilage instead. They have a very strong sense of smell,
Is
hearing.
that why they're when sharks die and wait, do fish have bones?
Yes.
Hmm.
A lot of fish do have bones.
Is that why like when a shark dies it goes like that in the water?
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen that in real life, being as how we don't live very close to an ocean, but I'm not sure that I've ever seen that on video or anything either. But so the author wanted us in this nonfiction text to get information about great white sharks and hammerhead sharks. They did that by comparing and contrasting, telling how they're the same and how they're different. So through that we learned about what sharks are. What is the definition of a shark? It's a fish that doesn't have bones, it has cartilage, right? And we learned about how those two particular types of shark
Did you
are
know
different.
if a fish is out of water, their gills just have to be wet for it to be able to breathe.
Interesting.
They don't breathe in the water, right?
So what was the most interesting thing that you learned about hammerhead sharks and great white sharks?
The most interesting thing?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Well, their size, like their weight.
Right, I didn't realize that great whites could be so big,
That's why they're called
4,500.
great.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, but I would have never thought thousands of pounds, maybe hundreds. And I didn't realize hammerheads were so small compared. Pretty interesting. Right, so we're going to continue to learn about different text structures to help us know what to focus on and find the main ideas of a text. All done for today.
Okay. Do I turn off the camera?
Yes, please.